Hey, welcome to Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'm Lee, and in this video we'll be taking a look at the new rules for Killzone Gallowdark, focusing on the hatchways. We've already gone through the new rules for Killzone Gallowdark, for the walls, and for some examples of cover. But now it's time to focus on the hatchways, so we're going to look at opening them, closing them, how to operate them as a new action, and access our operatives through them as well. As we covered in the previous video, a hatchway is part of a wall terrain. But the hatchway is also a terrain feature in its own right, and it has two statuses. Either it's closed or it's open. The hatchway has two parts. An access point and a hatch, and their traits depend upon the hatchway's status. Operatives can perform the Operate Hatch mission action to change its status. Let's start with the closed hatchway status, and a hatchway begins the battle closed. While a hatchway is closed, its hatch must be fully within its access point. And all parts of it have the heavy and wall traits that we went through in the previous video. Let's have a look at the Operate Hatch mission action. Now this is going to cost you 1 action point. An operative can perform this action while within black of a hatchway's access point. Open or close that hatchway. An operative cannot perform this action while within engagement range of an enemy operative, or if that hatchway is open and an enemy operative is within black of its access point. An operative can perform this action during a dash or normal move action, and any remaining increments of movement can be used after it does so. Note, however, that opening a hatchway can cause the operative to be within engagement range of an enemy operative, in which case that dash or normal move action would immediately end, unless the operative has any rules that allow it to move within engagement range of enemy operatives, for example, fly. If a hatchway status is changed and an operative placement would prevent the hatch from fully opening or closing, you can temporarily remove the operative from the kill zone, fully open or close the hatch, then return the operative or operatives to the kill zone as close as possible to their original location. If an operative is within an enemy operative's engagement range before a hatch is open, it must be returned within engagement range of that enemy operative after the hatch is opened. Now let's look at the open hatchway. While a hatchway is open, there's 3 things to consider. The first is its hatch must be fully open. It cannot be ajar. Number 2, its access point has the accessible trait. Number 3, its hatch has the wall trait. Let's have a look at accessible now. An operative can move through the walls up to black adjacent to this access point as if they were not there, so long as at least part of its base would move through this access point when it does so. An operative cannot finish a move in or on an access point. As an operative must finish a move in a location it can be placed, it must finish the move wholly on one side or the other of this terrain feature. An open hatchway's access point does not provide cover, nor is it obscuring. The walls either side of the access point or its hatch must be used for this instead. So I hope all that makes sense. It's quite wordy, as are most of the kill team rules, so let's have a look at a few examples so we can just make it a little bit clearer. Here you can see the Marine's base is wider than the open hatchway's access point. It can move through the wall terrain up to black either side of the open access point, so long as part of its base moves through the open hatchway's access point. In this example, our Marine has been joined by his buddy who's potentially impeding him. But they can move through the wall terrain up to black to the right of the open hatchway's access point, so long as part of its base moves through the access point and does not move through the impeding operative. This is actually a really neat rule, and so it really helps you to get your operatives through and saves a lot of fuss. And so I think once you've played this a few times, it totally makes sense and works really well. Let's do a couple more examples and ramp things up a bit. Here we've got two Marines who are potentially impeding this third Marine. As he cannot move through the open hatchway's access point without moving through those friendly Marine operatives, it means that Marine cannot make the move. Let's have a look at charging through a hatchway now. So our Marine wants to charge, but the Orc is impeding its move through the middle of the open hatchway. It can move through the wall terrain up to black to the left of the open hatchway's access point, so long as part of its base moves through that access point and does not move through the Orc. So in this case, the Marine can make the charge. Now we've made the charge, we need to fight, and we'll cover hatchway fighting rules in the next video. That covers the rules for hatchways, and there's a few other pieces of terrain that we can briefly look at in this video before we move on to the next one and focus on the close quarters. So let's have a quick look at ancient apparatus. I've got to say, I'm not keen on the word apparatus. I just don't even know if I'm saying it properly, but here we go. Ancient apparatus terrain features have the heavy and traversable traits, and you'll see dynamos, power panels, pipes, control panels and tanks. Some missions will require operatives to control these ancient apparatus terrain features, and some will even specify certain types, for example the pipes. In these missions, those terrain features are treated as objective markers, except that a friendly operative controls it while within black of it, and if the total APL characteristic of friendly operatives within black of it is greater than that of enemy operatives within black of it. If an operative must perform an action at an ancient apparatus terrain feature it controls, and it controls more than one, you must select one for that action. Now let's have a look at pipes. So we've got two different pipes, the overhead and the broken. The overhead pipe has the insignificant trait, while the broken pipe has the light and traversable trait. That just leaves the really awesome Gallowdark barricades. So Gallowdark barricades are variant barricades designed to fit with the theme of Space Hulks. They are normally barricades for all rules purposes, meaning they have the light and traversable traits. That now covers the hatchway and terrain rules for the new Gallowdark Killzone, and it'd be great if you come and join me for the next video where we'll look at all the rules for close quarters. If you haven't ordered your Into the Dark box set yet but would like to, please check out my sponsor Firestorm Games. I'll put a link in the description down below that will take you to their website where you'll save up to 20% on all your hobby products. They've also sent me a special code that will save you an additional 5% on top of those savings. So all the information's down below, just follow the link, copy and paste the code and make yourself some savings. If you'd like to see more content about Into the Dark, then check out my unboxing video. Then I go through how to build the Kroot Farstalkers and the build option for the Navy Breachers. Once you've seen that, you might want to start preparing your terrain before you paint it. And then after that, I've got a how to paint the terrain to a quick and easy tabletop ready standard. I've also covered how to paint the barricades in two different ways, and then on top of that you might want to paint your gauges too, so I show you how you can do it for your favourite faction or chapter, or go the traditional route and paint it in this metallic effect. And with everything painted, it's time to get playing, so if you haven't seen all the rules for the core game yet, then please check out my How to Play series where I go through everything you need to know to start playing the game. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this one, and don't forget to hit that notification bell too to join me next time on Tabletop Skirmish Games. I'd like to say a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters who make these daily videos possible, and if you're interested in joining the community, it'd be awesome to see you there, and I'll put a link for that in the description down below.